Okay. Well, Sam, we saw that you guys are opening with Georgia. Your old team. Just what are your thoughts on that and just the way the schedule lays out?
I got on real late. Did you ask me about Georgia?
Bob.
Not just you. Something's not right, Kyle.
Try again.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Go ahead. So,
Okay, Sam. We saw you're going to open with Georgia, your old team here. Well, what are your feelings about that, and just how do you feel like the whole schedule lays out?
I haven't had a chance to really dig into the schedule because it came out while we were at practice, and I just got off the field, took a shower. Somebody's not unmuted. But as far as Georgia goes, we'll wait and see if you can find. Got a big echo in here. No, I don't. No, I'm good. As far as Georgia goes, I'll be excited to see all the guys and all those things. I mean, you look at the University of Georgia, they've been the Big East champs 3 years in a row, national runner-up, 2 Orange Bowls, 1 victory, Sugar Bowls. And they're a big, tough, physical, greatly coached football team. And they're on our schedule, and we'll be excited to have a home opener here and have a great respect for everybody in that program and the way they coach and then the way their kids play. And it'll be a great measuring stick to see where we're at.
Tom?
There we go. Yeah, just some thoughts about how today went, and also, do you have any guys who are dinged up that couldn't go through practice that you can mention, please?
No, and I probably won't talk a lot about injuries anyway, but no, we didn't have any guys dinged up. We pretty much made it through practice, and it went well. It was a little hotter out there than I thought it would be, but we 2-spotted everything all day, and so the kids were pretty tired at the end, but we finished with a little 2-minute drill, and we had a 2.5 hour practice, and we're really pleased with the effort. And we'll look at the tape and see what we need to improve on. But our whole talk to them is we have to go to work, and they did that today.
Alyssa.
Hey there, Coach. When you look having your offense go against your defense, what really stood out to you today?
I think we have some speed on both sides of the ball, and our wideouts got an unbelievable amount of reps today, and they fought through it. But I think we practice well together. You have to now, Alyssa, when you don't have pads on. You have to be smart, practicing against each other. I thought the quarterbacks threw the ball well, and I thought the understanding of our offense, there wasn't a whole lot of missed assignments I didn't see, and there wasn't balls on the ground. So those are the things you worry about early in practice, and I thought they did a nice job of taking care of the ball and on defense running to the ball.
Nikki?
Hey, Coach. When you're doing your quarterback drills, who goes behind Feleipe Franks right now? I know that nothing's settled, but who do you have going behind him?
KJ Jefferson is behind him right now. And then after that, it's, kind of a rotation of the 3 guys, with Jones and Lindsey and Malik. But KJ is behind Feleipe in the depth chart right now.
Thank you.
Otis.
Well, you kind of got my question too, Sam, but just talk about how the quarterbacks threw the ball. Everybody wants to know about the quarterbacks, and like I said, Nikki just asked you, but talk about how they specifically Feleipe and KJ, how'd they look today throwing the ball?
Felipe's got a very, very strong arm. I thought he was really accurate today. And, he played like what you certainly hope a veteran quarterback would play. And KJ, I'm really excited about him because he's learned the offense and running the offense. But you have to understand he's still very, very young as a quarterback in college. And so he'll have to play faster and things of that nature, but that'll come with reps. And I'm really pleased with all our quarterbacks. I really am. Lindsey took his group down and scored in the 2-minute drill. So, I mean, I'm pleased with where we're at that position.
Frank's ankle, is it okay now?
Felipe's?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 100%. He's fine.
Great, Biddy.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Trey.
So I was wondering about Tre Bursts, a guy we hadn't really talked a whole lot about, unique player on the field and off the field. What do you think you have in him? What kind of role could you foresee him playing for you guys this year?
I mean, I think it's time for him to be one of, to get up there, and he's talented enough to be a one receiver on several teams, in my opinion. And we got to find ways to get the ball to him, whether it be throwing it to him and running him out of the backfield, throwing quick swings to him. He's a big, fast receiver that we need to get touches to him, and he's earned that, in my opinion, through the walks, through his off-season workouts, and certainly today. I think the world of him. He's a great kid. He was loyal to Arkansas in recruiting, and that makes a big difference to me too. So he got to earn that spot, but he's a talented guy. I really like him.
You see him on special teams? Continue.
Yeah, absolutely. We have him on, if not all special teams. I think we have him on every special team. I think he's a dynamic return guy, and we're using him there as well.
Hutch.
Coach, I was wondering if you could maybe give us a little update on Marcus Henderson. I know he came in listed around 300, but on the roster he's down to 286. What have you seen from him since he's gotten to campus?
He's young, he's very talented. He's got really good feet and very talented. I mean, he's smart. He's trying to work his way into that two deep, and he's certainly talented enough to do that. But we're really pleased with him. We'd take him every year if we could get one like him. He's going to be a really good player for us.
John Neighbors.
I'm good, man. I don't have anything.
What's up, John?
If you've got questions, hit me up in the chat. Tom?
Thanks. Hey, Sam, can you kind of describe who scored touchdowns, who looked good running and catching? Just kind of give us an idea.
I mean,
little play-by-play.
I mean, we didn't have any pads on. They were going full speed as far as they could. They were taking care of each other, but I don't know that there's any really standouts today from practice. Like I say, the defense stopped the 1 and 2 offense in the 2-minute drill. The 3 offense scored on the 3 defense, but they played with a lot of energy. They played well together, and I thought more than anything they fought through adversity as far as, like I say, we 2-spotted all day. There's a lot of running going on out there, and I thought our wideouts and our DBs fought through that real well, and I was real pleased with that. We're trying to be a tough football team, so we had to put them in tough situations, and we did today, and they did a really good job.
Dorian?
Hey, Coach. I'm not sure if this is better suited for you or Coach Briles, but I was just wondering what Felipe's relationship has been like with the wide receivers that you've noticed, because the wide receivers are a core that's gone through 8 different quarterbacks over the last 2 seasons. There hasn't been a lot of consistency there.
You're probably right. It's probably Coach Browse can probably answer that better than me. But from what I see, the relationship's really good between the wideouts and Feleipe. And matter of fact, all the quarterbacks. But you brought up a valid point. You know, we'll try not to play 6 or 7 this year if we can stay away from it.
Mike Sadie.
Hey, Coach, how you doing today? Question for you: with so much work to do on the football field, how difficult is it to keep your guys focused on the protections in place off the field, especially when you look around the SEC and see a lot of these pictures of students coming back to campus and maybe not taking the safety as important as they should with the season we all want to see a few weeks from now?
Well, I think you have a valid point with kids coming on campus. I mean, obviously they're coming on campus. They've been on campus now for about a week and a day or so. You know, they move in earlier and earlier nowadays. We used to move in like the day before school, but it's not that way anymore. So, you know, you're talking about the 4th of July and they left and they went here and there, and you're talking about every night of the week. And, you know, just because the kids are back doesn't mean that it was a ghost town here in Fayetteville before they came back. And so a lot of it is just talking to them about how important the season is to them, how the COVID is very, very scary and very, very harmful. You know, I told them the other day that I could not imagine if I got the virus who I would have to quarantine. And if you look at it that way, the person I'd have to quarantine is my wife, you know, Jamie. But other than that, I haven't been 6 foot close to somebody without a mask on for over 15 minutes in a long time. I think if you look at it that way as a player and you go, okay, they're going to call you and they say you have the virus, who are you going to have to quarantine? If the answer is nobody, then you're probably doing a pretty good job of it. And so that's kind of how we had to explain it to our kids. And we know they're young, but we also know that if they get the virus, that it's going to be a 14-day outage. You know, you're not going to get to play, and with a 10-game schedule, it's going to cost you some games and some time, and they've worked awful hard. And so I think they're doing a really good job of it. For a long answer to tell you what I think, but I think we're doing a really good job of it. And there's going to be obviously hard decisions they're going to have to make when the campus gets full. We hope they just make the right ones. We trust that they will.
Harry Wood.
Hi, Coach. With the practice schedule having days off in between, what does that do for preparation, and what does that do for you as a coaching staff in just getting ready for the next practice when you've got so much time in between, unlike in the past with fall camp?
You know, we purposely went 3 days the first week, and you know, again, it's not necessarily what's going on in front of us, but what's happened behind us, you know, and we've had almost 20 practices, 20 walkthroughs before we started camp. And so we thought that we would be much further on, because we probably have, I don't know, 75% of our offense and defense in, and special teams for that matter. And so we thought we'd be much better job of getting our kids out there and then having a full day off for us to get together as a coaching staff, because we're new too, and make sure that we're doing the things exactly like we want them done, and then be able to relay it to our kids on the off day. We felt like we could press them a little bit harder because we had a day in between, and we still wanted to be able to give our kids the weekend off because we're setting, you know, in a 40-day period to get 25 practices. We want to be ready and physically and emotionally ready to play the first game. So we started out a little bit slower than some of the other teams across the country.
Tre Bursts.
Hey, Coach, I was curious about the newcomers. I know they've been around campus for a while, but a lot of times when camp starts up, you know, some guys will kind of sit back and, you know, feel their way around, and other guys kind of throw their weight around, try to jump to the front of the line. I was wondering if there's anybody that's kind of caught your eye in that regard.
I like the D lineman, Trey. I like, and I'm not talking about coach because to me, he's new and Kelly's new, but they're older, and those two guys have done well as well. But I like the young D linemen, with both Boykin, Toll, and Stewart. I think they're going to be good players for us eventually down the road. And then I like the offensive linemen, and then Malik Hornsby's done a really good job. He's got a really good arm on him. He's fast, but I got to I got to see him throw today. And instead of doing this, without a ball, and he's got a strong arm, accurate arm, and so I was pleased with those guys. And of course, the transfer guys at this point, we feel like we really hit home runs with those guys. Every one of them, I believe, is going to help us with Draper and some of those guys. So, and Reed and Carrington, and just so I think we've upgraded our football team with the transfers, and they really have good character, Trey, so they fit in well with the team. But the young kids, that's probably who I'd say the O and D linemen and that have probably stood out the most in that group of true freshmen, along with Malik.
Nate?
Sam, just as far as finally getting a practice in, how did that feel like for you today after all this time, where you actually had a practice with the team?
And it was awesome. I mean, I'll get better every day. I have to learn as a head coach of how to run a practice exactly like I want. I thought it went well today, but there's some things that I wrote down that I'd like to change, or not necessarily change, but we had a 6-play rack of inside run, and I think it's too many. So we're going to change it to 4 tomorrow or on Wednesday. So just some things that I thought might be the best for our football team that I don't now. But as far as being the head coach at Arkansas and going out there to a practice, it was everything I thought it would be. And who made that happen is our assistant coaches and our team. I mean, they worked, and we just keep preaching. We're a blue-collar team with Arkansas Razorbacks, and let's go play hard, play tough, and play smart. And they did that today. I was proud of them, and I was really honored to be out there with them.
2 more. Otis? Otis, you're on mute.
Coach, did Hudson Henry, how is he doing? And does he feel like he can take a step forward and really help you this year? Because he was kind of banged up last year.
Yeah, we're planning on him too. I'll tell you that, Otis. I really like him. I mean, he's big, athletic. He's worked awful hard. I'd love to see some success come his way. We'll know a little bit more, probably on Friday when we put the shoulder pads on. But I hope so. And he's such a wonderful person and works hard, and he's very talented. So we're expecting him to have a good year.
Alyssa, last one.
Yeah, Coach, this kind of plays off Nate's a little bit, but I just want to know for you personally, your first fall camp as a head coach, you're used to being over there coaching that offensive line. How hard was it not to step in and go back to your roots and have to kind of step back and watch the field as a whole?
Well, if I didn't have Brad Davis, it'd probably be hard. But since I have him, and I know what a fine coach he is, it's not so hard. But it was fun, to be honest with you. I made it to every individual drill and wrote down some notes about what I'd like to change about different drills and things of that nature. The practice goes a lot longer than it does as an assistant, because you're watching so many different things. As an assistant, you're so ingrained in what you're doing that the practice seems to go a lot faster than it did today. But it was only 2.5 hours from start to finish, so shouldn't have been that long, but it seemed like it was a long time.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Coach.